Hi guys, I know it's been quite a while since I've had a video. Just had a bunch of family emergency stuff kind of going on, but I'm hopping in right now with a quick little video about how I make an image look like it's kind of swimming underwater. And I'm going to be using Snorkel Beatrice from CC Designs. She was released a couple months ago, but I haven't gotten to play with her yet, and I thought she'd be perfect for this one. This video is actually for the Make It Monday that's on the All That Scraps blog, so you'll be able to check it out there too. And I'm just going to hop right in and get going on Beatrice here. The key for me when I'm doing kind of an underwater look is less contrast than I usually color with. I usually like, bright colors and a lot of, the contrast between light and dark. But to really help get the effect of the underwater look, I'm going to be limiting my color palette in this one. So like for her skin, I'm going to be using the E quadruple 0 and the E triple 0. And that's it. So I'm just going to kind of lay in with the quadruple 0 on her little face here, her hands, back here as well, and then her leg here. And I'm also going to just pull the skin up just a little bit inside that goggle area, kind of where the cheeks would be smushing against the glass there. But I'm not going to fill it all the way. And then I'm going to come in with my triple 0, the E triple 0, and that's just going to be my only real shadow that I'm putting in on her with this image. My light source is kind of coming right from above since she's down underwater, and it's a pretty subtle one. And that's going to work with this lighter color palette. Okay. So I got her skin. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not even going to go back and blend it. We're just going to leave that as is. And now I'm going to jump to her hair. And you can use any color you want. Just kind of choose lighter shades. I thought it would be fun. I chose the E80 series, the E81, E84, E87. It's kind of got a green tint to it, which I think is going to help enhance the look of her being underwater. So she's a little, she's got brown hair, but when she's down underwater, it's going to get a little bit of that bluish green tinge to it. So I thought this set of markers was really great to help convey that look. So I'm just real quick, and again, not going for a lot of tight definition with this, just because of the look we're going for, but I'm getting that color laid down. And I work light to dark, so I started with the E81, and now I got the E84. I'm just going right over top that, just about, halving the distance each time. I'm not coming all the way as far down as I did with the 81, but I'm gonna hit her little pigtails there and then come up from the bangs as well. So we're gonna just get the color going on here, and then we'll just get that real quick and then hit with the E87 as my darkest. And again, I'm just kind of laying. This is the shadows. This is where, as her head curves away from us, that's going to be a little bit darker. Hit the bottoms of those pigtails. And then as her bangs kind of come and curl around under her, onto her forehead, going to get a little bit there. And this is just going to help add a little bit of definition. Just like that. Now I'm going to blend back down. So I'm taking the E84 right over top that 87 and pulling it further than I did the first time. And this is where I start kind of blending the colors together. I wasn't worried about it being pretty the first time around. I'm just laying down the colors that first go. But now this is where I'm going to start blending them out, getting them to look nice. So the E81, Now I'm not going to take it all the way back. I'm going to kind of start in that middle section with the E84. I'm going to just kind of blend. And I'm going to do the same on the underside here too. Just kind of blend that into the white a bit. And I might leave a little bit of white just to give it a kind of shiny appearance. I usually, I kind of color in the whole thing. That's just personal preference, because the more white that you leave, the higher shine your hair is going to have. But yeah, I like that. Okay, now I'm going to add back in some strands just to make it look more hair-like instead of like a little helmet. So I'm going to take my darkest color, the E87, and I'm just going to start pulling, just random, with the very tip of that marker. I'm just going to start giving her some definition in her hair. And we'll come up from the bangs too. And you can put in as many or as few as you like. And I'm going to flip her real quick so I can pull from this direction as well. Kind of connect up some of those lines. Okay. So I got that where I like it. And now it's just using my E84, kind of go over those lines a bit, blend that a bit more. Okay. Okay, I got that where I like it. I'm going to leave it because we got more we're going to be hitting into that later. Okay, so we've done her hair. Now I'm just going to real quick color up her little snorkel, and I'm going to be using a combination of Y11. And I'm just going to kind of color the whole thing in with that to start. And it's because, it's really just because it matches the paper that I pulled that you'll see on the finished card. All these colors that I'm using. You can use anything you like. And then I am using Y32. It's kind of a jump, but I'm actually wanting this to be a more orangey yellow. So that's why I'm making that leap. And then I'm just going to get the color in on her little flippers. And then I'm going to finish off with the Y35. And I'm just kind of hitting opposite our light source, since we know it's coming down from the top. That's why the underside of that kind of bubbled out part of the snorkel is getting more of the darker color. And then around this bottom part as well, we'll get a little bit more of that darker color. And then under her leg here and inside that kind of crease in the flipper, I'll add a bit of color too. Okay, and then we'll just go back down Y32, and we're going to blend that out a bit on both sides. And do the same down here. And then finish off real quick with the Y11, just to brighten it up again and get the color on there. Just a nice little orangey yellow combination. Okay, so I got that done. Now I'm going to add a little bit of pink to her snorkel and her goggles. So I'm going to be using R11. And I'm just going to fill in real quick, the whole thing with this, because I'm not trying to go for high contrast, I can get away with just real simple laying down a color and just a little bit of blending. RV42 is my darker in the combination, and I'm only using the two colors. Again, I'm not wanting a real, I keep saying it, high contrast. I can't think of another word or descriptor for it, but that's what I'm, not working towards. So just a couple colors works in this scenario. And then I'm just going to go back with the R11 and blend that out just a touch, so we get a little bit smoother transition from one color to the other. Okay, there we go. So we got, and you'll notice, yeah, I used a R with an RV, and that's just because this poor little RV42 has nothing to go with it in the RV family. He's a little peachier than any of the other RVs. So hopefully we'll get, Copic will add some to that color family. But until then, I like to use some of my R's with it. Okay, so back to the image. Swimsuit. I'm going to give her a little kind of mint green swimsuit. So I'm starting with a G000. I'm just, again, going to color in that part there. And it's a pretty simple little image. So she doesn't need a lot of definition going on, but I am going to add in a little bit of like a little wave to her little, I imagine it as a little skirt swimsuit. And so then my BG34 is the darkest, and I'm just going to add that in the shadows and the kind of deeper creases of her little swimsuit and there underneath her face. And then just work my way back down with the G double and finish off with the G triple. Again, real simple, real quick, not a lot of high contrast going on. Okay, so now we've got her pretty much colored up, and now we're going to be adding in the water look, and I'm going to do that with the B000, the BG000, the B000, and some colorless blender. And so I'm going to start just with the BG quadruple, because I know I want to use that on her little goggles here. And so I'm going to start at the top and blend down right over that skin tone that I added in it from the very start. And that's just going to help those. Okay. So now when I start laying in my color for the water, I'm going to be doing it in horizontal stripes because I'm going to stick with that. I don't want to go circles. I don't want to go vertical. I like the look that I get. So I'm going to turn it this way actually, and I'm just going to start just kind of coloring, and I'm going right over her. But I'm not going to be consistent in where I go over her. I'm going to be a little bit, like I'll come in from this side then and go down over the bottom part of her. But I might, skip a little bit of the middle area. I went over her leg a bit. And then I'll just pull the color off on this side. Always going in this kind of horizontal stripe. And then I'll start, pulling it right over top of her in some places. And we'll do the same from this side as well. I'm just kind of pulling the color, and then we'll pull all the way across there. And we'll just continue to do this. This is the big finish, I guess, on this one. It's just not being afraid to go right over your image that you've colored up with all these different colors, with your really light blues and blue greens, and just going right over top of them. And just kind of these bands of color. I'm not even worried about the smooth blend in that, because I want kind of the mottled look of the water, from underwater, that, with the light coming down through it and stuff. It's not all one consistent shade of any color. So then I'm just going to start hitting in, with my blue, the B quadruple, doing the same thing, and it's going to help really define certain areas that I want darker and such around her. Going over her from this direction. We'll come in from over here. And then we'll come in over here. And this is all completely up to you. But it's really going to start, you know, giving her the sense that she's floating in a water environment. Okay. A little bit darker with the 000, the B000. And just, again, pulling in some color. Right over top of her. Okay, taking that all the way up. Okay. And then I'm just going to use my BG quadruple just to kind of help blend it in now that I've got kind of these bands of blue going across her. And then finishing it all off with my handy dandy little colorless blender. And that's just going to kind of smooth things out a bit. Kind of pushes that color into the cardstock and just kind of will lighten it up a bit. Though I am avoiding her for the most part with the colorless blender. This is just for that water. Okay. So that, you know, quick and easy. That you can kind of see that it just kind of, it grounds her in a way that would be harder to do underwater. Like when you're doing an image, you could put a shadow underneath it, walking across the ground, drawing a sidewalk, whatever. But this kind of helps ground her in a way that even though she's floating in an environment. And so like when I go to put this on a card, the reason why I didn't worry about the edges so much is because I'm actually going to be using her as a long, narrow strip. And then just kind of like that. And you can see that's going to be a cool little accent on a card. And I'll have that up on the All That Scraps blog with this video on the Make It Monday for tomorrow. Actually, I'm filming this on Sunday, but so you'll be able to see it all then. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a little late in the summer for summer images, but I hope you give this a try too, because it's a fun one to do and pretty darn easy. So thanks for watching, and I can't promise you when there'll be another video, but hopefully it's sooner rather than later. And I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.